Okay, so let's continue our studies. In our previous video, we created the campus event database inside our database, as you can see here. And I think the last query that we did was to make the campus events DB, the active database here. So we are now working with the campus event DB. Don't forget, I already told you that this green color that you're seeing here is my preference. I want mine to look like this. So if yours is looking white, don't worry, it's okay. Doesn't matter. All right. So let's continue with our activity that we had here. So we did the tax one in our previous video. If you are new here, you want to like this video, subscribe and leave your comments in the comment section. If this is your first time being on this YouTube channel, I will advise to go back and watch our previous video on the tax one so that you can follow along. So this time we're moving on to the tax two, and the tax two here is about creating our first version of tables inside our database that we created. So create the first version of the following tables. At this stage, do not define primary keys or foreign keys yet. They will be added later. Most of us know what is a primary key and what is a foreign key. These are unique keys to every table. Every table has a primary key, and most of the tables also has a foreign key because the foreign key establishes the relationship between those tables. So for now, let's just create these tables. We have the student table here, we have the event table here, and we have the registration table here also. So we are going to start with the student table. The student table. As we all know, the command for creating the student table command is we've already made the campus event DB active database. So now let's create the table. So we have create table, then you bring the table name, which is students. We have done this in our previous video, how to create a table. The query is create table, then you bring the table name. So this is the query for creating a table. As simple as this. Create table student. And most of you can see that the create table is in capital letters, while the name of the table is in small letters. That is, I'm following conventions. Okay. The create and the table are keywords in MySQL. So the convention is to make them capital, and this is the name of the table that you are creating, which is in small letters, just to create that distinction between the keywords and the names that we are assigning to the tables here. So this is the query to create a table. So this is the table called student table, and we have to assign the attributes that belongs to the table. We talked about them in our previous video. We can see here that we have student ID. That is the first ID which belongs to the first attribute which belongs to the student table. It has a data type of int. It is an integer because it is an ID. The second one is first name. That is VARCHAR of length 40. Let me increase. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, I think it's okay now. So the first name is of the data type VARCHAR of size 40, and it is also not now. This is the first time of mentioning not now in this video. So what I mean by saying not now is that it is not supposed to be empty. Now means empty. So saying not now is to say that it is not supposed to be empty. So whenever we are inserting values into the student table, the first name of the student is not supposed to be empty. Okay, that is what the not now here stands for. That the student's name, the first name of the student is not supposed to be empty. We can't skip it. We have to provide a value for it. That is why we are specified that it is not going to be not, it is going to be not now. The last name is also VARCHAR of length 40, not now. And the program, it is also VARCHAR of length 80, that is not now. So let's create them Let's start with the student ID. So create table. We said that the attributes are supposed to be inside the curly, the bracket, sorry, the brackets here, they are supposed to be inside of them. Okay, they are not outside, they're supposed to be inside. So sorry, we have our student ID. It is of the data type, and then you bring your comma. And the next one is first name. Sorry, I know his first name, but let's begin with stud first. Sorry, name like this. Okay, so it is student first name. Instead of just making it first name, let's make it student first name. Okay, it is a varchar of length 40. Okay, it has taken us to a new line. Don't worry, it is not now. That is, the value is not going to be empty. We have to specify a value for it. The next one is student last name. It is also varchar of length 40. It is also not now. Then you bring your comma. Remember, we are separating the attributes with comma right after the student underscore ID, which is an integer. You bring your comma, we separate the first attribute with a comma, move on to the second attribute, to first name, varchar of length 40, not now. Remember, the not now, there's a space. You bring a space between each of the characters that you are entering here. Not now, then you bring your comma, you bring your stud last name, stud underscore last name, then you bring your space varchar, then you bring your size, then you bring your not now here, then you bring your comma. And the last one, I've forgotten, guys. Let me go and check. The last one is program. There is also a varchar, and the size is 80. Let's enter that. So program. Sorry. Let's bring student program. There is a varchar of length 80. It is also not now because you can't be a student without a program. You have to have a program. So after typing this query, let's hit enter. As we can see, the query is okay. So we have created our first table inside our campus event database. So the table name is student. As you can see here, the query is okay. So let's move on to create the second table. The second table is event. So let's bring that here. Create table, bring the table name event. You open your brackets, you close them, you terminate it so that you can write your attributes inside of them. Let's move on. The event table has event underscore ID, which is an integer, event underscore name, which is a varchar of 100. So let's enter them. We have event underscore ID. It's an integer. We separate them with a comma. We have event underscore name, but it's also a varchar, of length 80. We separate it with a comma. Then we go and check for the rest. Event name varchar, the length is 100 and it's not now. Then the venue is varchar of 80. So let's make the changes. The length is 100, not 80, sorry. Then we have it is also supposed to be not now. Not now. Okay, then you bring your comma. Then you bring the next attribute, that is event venue. It is also a varchar of 80. It is also not now. let's look at the last one, which is event underscore dates. The data type is date, is also not now. Okay, let's continue. So sorry, you have event underscore date. The data type is date. It is not now. Okay, so I think everything is okay. So let's hit enter. Okay, and our query brings okay. So that is a success for us, guys. It's a success. So let's create the last table here. That is the registration table. Registration table. So the query is create. Remember table. Then you bring the table name registration. Then you open your query braces. Then you terminate them. So the query is create table. Then you bring the table, and that is registration. So let's get inside here. Let's look at the attributes here. We have registration ID. We have registration ID has data type of int. We have student ID, which also have the data type of int. Okay, so let's specify them here. We have registration ID, sorry, but it's an integer, comma, your space, student, sorry, it's not, it's stu, that's stu ID, but it's an integer. Okay, let's move on to, we have events ID, it is an integer, and we have registration underscore date, which is also a date, and in the date data type that is supposed to be not now. So let's create our event ID. Let's have our event ID here. Okay, event underscore ID here. Okay, let me check something out, guys. Okay, it's an integer. So event ID is an int. So we have our registration IDs is also here. It's registration dates, which has a data type of date. It's not registration ID, registration date, which has a data type of date. And registration dates here also has the not now attribute here. So we have not now here. So let's specify our not now. So guys, I think we are done here. So let's take a look at what you're doing. We have create table, and the table name is registration. We have the registration ID here, which is an integer. We have the student ID here, which is an integer also. We have the event. Guys, what you're doing here is we are referencing the student table. We're also referencing the event table. We are going to talk about all those foreign keys. We're going to talk about those constraints in the later part. The last attribute that we have here is the registration date, which is a data type of date, and it also has the not now. Okay, so let's run this query and check if everything is working. Okay, so now guys, we can see here that our tables have been created. The response that we are getting is query okay, 0 rows affected. That it took us 0.205 seconds to get this query done. All right, so I think the touch 2 here is done. Okay, so we are left with, sorry, let me zoom out a little bit. We are left with touch 3 here. Okay, so I think we are done with the touch 2 here. Okay, so in our next video we are going to look at the touch 3. Okay, so I think the next thing you're supposed to hear, let's do what we did in the second video. In the second video, you remember that we tried to show the number of tables inside the database, right? But we got the response that there is an empty set, that there is no table inside. So now let's try the same query again and see what you're going to get. The query that we wrote was show tables. Remember that our campus underscore event underscore DB is the active table, is the active database here. So show tables is going to show the tables inside this active database. So let's hit enter and let's see. So with this query show tables, you can see that we have tables in campus underscore event underscore db. So these are the tables that we have in our campus underscore event underscore db. We have the event table, the registration table, and the student table. So these are the three tables that we just created, guys. You've done so well. If you are still following, you've done so well. You've done well for creating these three tables. So I think you deserve an applause. Let me clap for you guys. You did very well. You've done well. So in our next video, we are going to look at the task 3. So do well to practice your hands on what you've done. Make sure you share the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you like, so that you can get updates on any of our upcoming videos. See you guys in the next video. Bye.